Let me start by thanking the gentleman of the press for honoring this invitation at a very short notice. As you are aware, Nigeria has been battling to contain and eradicate Lassa fever, which broke out in Bauchi in November 2015. I've invited you to the World Press Conference so that the Honorable Minister of Health can give Nigerians an update on the status of the disease and other developments with regards to it. The Honorable Minister will also answer questions on areas that will require further clarification. Before I invite the Honorable Minister to speak, let me commend the media for their efforts so far in reporting the disease and the measures so far taken to contain it since its outbreak. However, I will seize this opportunity to further appeal to the media to continue to report on this outbreak with a view to keeping Nigerians adequately informed about the preemptive measures the government is taking. This call becomes necessary because of the invaluable role the media normally play in public sensitization and mobilization. Also, it is important for the media to naturally align with the nation's interest whenever there is any threat to our lives or the sovereignty of our nation. As you all know, public information on the Lassa fever will play a major role in the containment and ultimate defeat of this deadly disease. In the area of public communication, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture has adopted a robust social health education on a multimedia platform to ensure that we prevent the disease from spreading any further. I wish to call for the support and understanding of all Nigerians in this regard. I now invite the Honorable Minister of Health to give his address. Thank you.
Let me join our chief host, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, to appreciate our friends from the media for turning up at such a very short notice. I must also not fail to commend the Honorable Minister for organizing this press briefing, which is designed essentially to update not just the world, but particularly Nigerians about development with respect to the outbreak. This effort is a testimony to the commitment of the federal government under the able leadership of our president to ensure that the welfare of Nigerians is non-negotiable. When I addressed the press on 8th January, Friday morning, I gave an update on the outbreak. I informed the Nigerian public that we had 86 suspected cases, 22 confirmed laboratory cases, 40 deaths, with a case fatality of 46.5%. It is also important to inform this country that we have lived with this endemic disease for close to 50 years. Can you show the graph? The first case, as we might have known, was diagnosed in 1969 in Lassa. However, we began to notice an increase in the size of the outbreak from 2002, when we recorded 55 cases. In 2003, we recorded 31 cases. In 2004, 51 cases. In 2009, we had 907 cases. In 2010, 904 cases. It increased to 1,377 cases in 2011. We had a major outbreak of serious proportion in 2012, when 1,723 cases were recorded. After that outbreak, there was a post-Lassa fever meeting to plot how do we put this under farm control. And since then, you will notice the decline. Last year, we had 441 cases with 40 deaths. What has made the current outbreak unusual was that in some of the states, we were not notified of the outbreak for a long time. For example, in Niger State, the outbreak started in August, and we were not informed until November. And we consider this to be very unfortunate. Not only that, about 80% of the outbreaks are concentrated in 3 states of Kano, Bauchi, and Niger State. Niger recorded 35 outbreaks with 16 deaths. Kano recorded 14 outbreaks and 9 deaths. Bauchi recorded 14 outbreaks and 3 deaths. Immediately after the outbreak, we flagged off the Emergency Operations Unit at the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. We commenced nationwide public education campaign. We reactivated all our laboratories. We have capacity in 9 laboratories across the country to diagnose this disease. 6 of them are currently active and helping us to confirm the diagnosis of the outbreak. The essential component of today's briefing is to update you on where we are with respect to the outbreak. We also alerted all healthcare practitioners to report to us any fever lasting more than 2 days, so that we can be better informed of this outbreak. I wish to inform the nation through you that as of today, we have 93 suspected cases. We have confirmed 25 cases with 41 deaths, giving us a case fatality of 44%. The reassuring aspect of the current outbreak is that we have not recorded any new case in the last 72 hours. There has also not been any death in the last 72 hours, which gives one hope that we are beginning to see the end of the outbreak. But how do we ensure that we do not witness another outbreak towards the end of this year? Because Lassa fever outbreak occurs during dry season. We have decided, following discussion with the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, to set up an interministerial committee comprising Honorable Ministers of Information and Culture, Education, Agriculture and Natural Resources, Environment, and of course Health. We hope that working together, we can finally declare the final end of Lassa fever outbreak in this country. It is important that we continue to remain vigilant and that as Nigerians, we must avoid spreading or drying of food items on the roadside or outdoors. We need to keep all food containers sealed, and our food must be well covered. We must also avoid eating food suspected to be contaminated with the feces or urine of rats or rodents. We must also throw away food partly consumed by animals, and we need to continuously wash our hands and make sure that food items are well prepared. Family members and healthcare workers are advised to always be careful and avoid contact with blood and body fluids while caring for sick persons. It is important to highlight that no health worker has been infected so far, as against what happened in 2012. We also want to advise that all cases suspected or confirmed should be treated free, and all cases should be reported promptly to the state epidemiologist and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, as well as the Federal Ministry of Health. Once again, Honorable Ministers, Permanent Secretary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we would like to use this medium to re-emphasize the need for infection prevention and control across all our healthcare facilities, and that we need to remain vigilant. I also want to restate the hotline for information sharing. These are 0809 381 0105, 0809 381 0105, 0816 321 5251, 0803 157 1667, 0813 505 0005. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control is coordinating all our response activities and reporting to me on a daily basis. We wish to advise that there is no need to panic and that we do not need to restrict travel to any part of the country. This disease is different from Ebola, and we need to tackle it differently from Ebola. I want to emphasize that Ebola happened to be a single point of entry case into Nigeria, and it had to be tackled differently. Lassa fever is endemic in many of our states, and what we have as of now are multiple outbreaks, not just one single person spreading it to other states. I also want to assure us that this outbreak is under control and we do not need to panic. We want to thank once again the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture for providing this platform and opportunity. We also want to thank our partners, particularly the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control of USA for support. We have met with them, and I can assure you that we have their support in the ongoing effort. All our field line workers are working, and we have repositioned drugs to all the affected areas and even neighboring states. We have the capacity to deal with the outbreak, and there is no cause for panic. Finally, let me thank our staff at the various locations for their resilience and patriotism aimed at curtailing the outbreak. Nigerians again should remain calm, and we are fully in control of the situation. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
we verification. Tell us where you are coming from and thereafter.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. My name is David Barabola. As of your in-laws in this house, please.
Louder.
My name is Frank. My co-concern is this race and the confirmed cases and others. This is your entities and then the reduction of
that we have not confirmed any case in the last 72 hours. We had 2 suspected cases in Rivers State, they turned out to be negative. There were 2 from Lagos, they were also negative. So we are very comfortable with what is happening. And we'll be happy to see a situation where no one will die. I will link that situation closely to, is there a cure? There is a cure for Lassa fever. But for that cure to occur, we need to see them early. And that's why we are really calling for early presentation. The drug is called ribavirin and is available. We have dispatched it to all the affected areas. It is available. And we are also advocating that those who are infected should be treated free of charge. With respect to Oyo State, it is due to some disconnect. And we have a confirmed case diagnosed by University College Hospital in Ibadan, confirmed. I have the laboratory results stamped and signed from UCH. After treatment, this same individual had blood repeated in Lagos, and Lagos now said it is negative. We are standing by the original report from UCH, which confirmed positive, and we are in touch with Oyo State. I spoke to the chief epidemiologist. I also spoke to the media advisor to His Excellency the Governor of Oyo State about the true situation in Oyo State. So we are in control, and may I also say that it is only the Federal Ministry of Health that can make a pronouncement on the status of Lassa fever in Nigeria. And to us, we have a case from Oyo State, and that case was treated and is alive. To me, it's a good story.
in terms of prevention, in terms of treatment, and other.
So it is largely in the rural area. No foreigner has been affected. But to us, every human being, irrespective of your origin, matters to us. And the slogan of the present administration is that every life counts. And we are also saying that every death also counts. So I think that will answer your question, partly. But we are also not happy that anybody died. So we will, and our job as an administration, as leaders in government, is to ensure that no one, and that we will not allow Lassa fever to rear its ugly head again in this country. With respect to the cost, we are currently handling it with our own in-house resources, using drugs that we had in stock, but we are trying to replenish our stock. We estimate that we'll spend another 56 million to replenish the stocks of drugs. And in order to mount the response, we are looking at a budget of about 140 million. So everything is manageable within the budget of the Federal Ministry of Health. We need not panic for now. But when we set up the interministerial committee to ensure that we finally declare Lassa fever dead, buried completely, we will come up with a budget, which I can assure you will also be very realistic, in line with the posture of the present administration. We are not going to declare a bazaar, and no one should expect to feast on Lassa fever.
Development Agency. Does Lassa fever has a cure?
Because in the last 72 hours we've not recorded any new case. and there has been no death. And we are quite happy. We have increased number of reported suspected cases, which is normal, because we are asking all our doctors to report any case with fever lasting more than 2 days. But so far, all of them have tested negative.
So now you think still how long time we can?
You can visit our rural areas, but don't eat rat. But I think things are under control. Okay. And what we'll do, which will be different from whatever has happened in the past, is that once everything is under control, we will now set up and start functioning as an interministerial committee to make sure that this year, towards October, November this year, we do not have any outbreak. But that will be the real success story.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, check it out. What? Is it not okay?